You know, whenever you step onto the field, you really should first ask yourself one vital question. It's this profound thought that completely reframes the way we approach competition, preparation, and honestly, even time itself. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the brilliant philosophies of baseball researcher and coach Kensei Mitsui. And hey, even if you've never swung a bat in your life, the lessons we're about to uncover apply to literally any high-performance endeavor.
We're going to explore what it truly means to be a complete athlete by mastering the mind, the body, and the spirit. Mitsui's writings offer us this incredible, holistic blueprint for athletic longevity and personal success. He basically argues that the greatest athletes aren't just physically superior, they operate with a completely different mindset. I am absolutely thrilled to break this down for you today because the concepts we're going to look at are just so highly actionable.
So here's our roadmap for today's masterclass. 1. The power of gratitude. 2. Building unbreakable resilience. 3. Focusing on the process. And 4. Training for longevity. All right, let's dive right into section 1. The power of gratitude and cultivating a winning spirit. The fundamental truth Mitsui presents is that we accomplish absolutely nothing entirely on our own. We're born from others, raised by others, and sustained by others. He reframes the very concept of competition with this perfectly simple thought: a baseball game cannot begin without an opponent. He asks us to realize that an opponent is not your enemy. Actually, they're an equal companion sharing the exact same aspirations as you. Without them, there is no game. If a high school team plays an elementary school team, it's not exactly a rewarding experience, right? It's only worthwhile when you face a worthy rival. When you step into a game with this deep sense of gratitude for your opponent and your circumstances, you unlock what we can call the gratitude advantage. It cultivates humility, and it drastically improves your overall mood. But the really huge benefit here is that it entirely eliminates excessive nervousness. Because you no longer fear your opponent as some sort of enemy, that tense, paralyzing anxiety just melts away. You actually end up playing far more aggressively, confidently, and with crystal clear focus.
Mitsui asks such a beautiful question to help with this. Who is the person you most want to see or hear about your success? Just take a second and picture them. It might be a parent, a mentor, maybe a former coach. Playing for someone else, someone you deeply appreciate, provides a tremendous source of hidden strength. When times get tough during a game and your motivation is fading, just picturing that person's smile can instantly renew your determination. You can push so much harder for someone you're grateful to than you ever could just for yourself.
Let's move along to our second pillar. Section 2. Building unbreakable resilience, mastering the mind. This famous quote brilliantly illustrates the mindset we need. Thomas Edison tested thousands of materials before creating the practical light bulb. He knew for a fact that success requires failure. If you become excessively pessimistic every single time you fail, your spirit breaks and you just give up. Instead, we have to logically view failure as the absolute necessary fuel for growth. To actually do this, we need to actively practice a few core habits of resilience. First off, stay calm and steady. Athletes who have extreme emotional swings waste massive amounts of mental energy and they burn out so quickly. Second, think logically. Just eliminate the causes of failure one by one. Third, when things feel totally overwhelming, connect with nature. Go look at the ocean or a starry sky to put the sheer scale of your problems into perspective. By keeping your fundamental purpose in mind, you avoid that mental exhaustion that comes from obsessing over short-term results.
The fourth habit is learning how to actively shift your mood. And this progression is a perfect example of an athlete's internal monologue after a tough loss. It starts at step 1. I'm so angry. I'm crushed. I hated how I played. But then you force the shift to step 2. Wait a second. There were some good plays in there. I actually learned exactly what caused my mistake. Suddenly, there's a feeling of relief. Then step 3. You know what? I'm going to eliminate that mistake in practice tomorrow. I'm going to attack my weakness. Now you're feeling refreshed and encouraged. Finally, step 4. I literally can't wait to execute this in the next game. I loved this sport. Just like that, you are back to being optimistic, positive, and totally motivated.
And that perfectly sets up our third pillar, section 3. Focus on the process, controlling the controllables.
Let's compare these two concepts, because it's a real game changer. Baseball, like a lot of sports, is a zero-sum game. One wins, one loses. The outcomes are largely uncontrollable. A pitcher can throw an absolutely perfect low-and-away pitch, and the batter might just blindly swing and hit it out of the park anyway. You can suffer about a hop, or just a terrible umpire call. If you obsess over those outcomes, you will drive yourself crazy. The process, however, is entirely yours.
How you think, how you act, and your attitude, those are completely in your hands. So, the crucial takeaway here is this. Your only real goal should be to play with the attitude and conduct worthy of a champion. Focusing heavily on improving your process, regardless of whether you win or lose today, is the only legitimate, sustainable way to increase your chances of ultimately becoming a winner in the long run.
All right, we've arrived at the fourth and final pillar. Section 4, Training for Longevity, Protecting the Body.
As the old saying goes, a good horse is one that stays sound. An athlete that actually avoids overtraining and stays off the injured list is incredibly valuable. But to achieve that, we have to recognize the stark difference between leisure sports and competitive sports. Leisure sports naturally promote health, but competitive sports, they actively strain the body and mind in order to gain a competitive edge. Competitive athletes are constantly walking a tightrope. You have to actively work against the immense physical strain your sport demands, because if you get injured, you lose everything.
To protect the body, Mitsui points to this groundbreaking approach called the Maffetone theory. Developed by Dr. Philip Maffetone and famously used by six-time Ironman champion Mark Allen, this method builds a massive aerobic base. It trains your body to use fat as a highly efficient energy source, which actually prevents you from overusing your fast-twitch anaerobic muscles. And those fast-twitch muscles are the ones notoriously slow to recover and super prone to injury.
The absolute core of this theory revolves around one simple magic number, 180. This is the 180 formula, where you just subtract your age from 180 to discover your maximum aerobic heart rate for training.
So if you're a 20-year-old, your base is 160, but you've got to adjust that based on your current condition. For example, if you are bouncing back from an illness, you subtract 10, bringing your max heart rate down to 150. If you're injured or just feeling off, subtract 5. Now, if you've been training consistently for over 2 years without any issues, you can actually add 5. This brilliant little formula establishes a strict, safe upper limit. It tells you exactly when to stop pushing so you don't accidentally cross over into that dangerous zone of overtraining and injury.
Now, here's a harsh reality of intense competitive training. It actually lowers your immune function. Athletes pushing their limits every day are highly susceptible to colds, the flu, and infections. Because of this, getting adequate sleep, prioritizing high-quality nutrition, and taking basic health precautions, those aren't optional. They are absolutely critical to staying on the field.
To combat this immunity drop, Mitsui recommends something really fascinating, the heat shock protein, or HSP, bathing method. By safely raising your body temperature through a targeted bath, your body produces special proteins that actually boost immunity. It's a precise formula. For example, you can soak up to your neck in a 42 degrees Celsius bath for exactly 10 minutes, and then you have to make sure you stay warm in a heated room for 10 minutes right afterward. If the water is a bit cooler at 40 degrees, you'd soak for 20 minutes instead. Utilizing these exact temperature-to-time ratios every 3 to 4 days gives your immune system an incredibly powerful, completely natural upgrade.
Finally, you must take total responsibility for your body. When you do get injured, you have to be a proactive advocate for your own health. Don't just nod along blindly at the doctor's office. Fully understand the diagnosis. Ask questions until the treatment plan is crystal clear to you. And remember, standard physical therapy is great, but it's also an athlete's job to actively research and combine alternative therapies like acupuncture or chiropractic care to speed up recovery. It's your body, take full ownership of it.
Which brings us to our final thought for today's explainer. Look at this holistic framework we've built together today, from practicing gratitude and emotional resilience to protecting your heart rate and your immune system. It really all boils down to this. Are you obsessing over unpredictable outcomes, or are you mastering the physical and mental processes you can actually control? Taking command of your process is the truest path to becoming a complete athlete. Thank you so much for joining me as we explored this incredible material. Take these concepts, apply them to your own life, and I'll see you in the next explainer.